dalam sekejap ya Prof. Ustaz Jamil ready ke?
Baik, ready.
Okay, good. Ustaz Jamil, background dia lain
Saya tak ada background, Dr. Hussein.
Okay, sekejap. Hantar background ke Dr. Ni, Ustaz Jamil. Sekejap it's on the way.
Baik, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum and very good day, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? Yes, welcome to a very the moment that we waited, a international collaborative teaching in UiTM between UiTM Center of Foundation Study and Universitas Islamic Riau. So welcome to the floor again. Before we really proceed today, I'm Dr. Hussein, chemist Dr. Hussein bin Haniba from University Technology Mara, the foundation study from the unit of chemistry. Will cordially invite all the audience and all the speakers and VIP for the sessions. So before we really going to start our session, let me introduce the session itself and the flow of the sessions. Today, we're going to have this electrochemistry foundation and application webinar sessions. A unique of this session, it will be conducted between the Center of Foundation Study, UiTM Dengkil, and Universitas Islamic Riau, whereby for those this session also been live through our YouTube official YouTube channel. So the audience and also our friends from abroad, from Indonesia, they are watching live. And please feel free to comment and ask questions through the medium and the platform that are available. Without and also a bit of the introduction before we really go to the next part, whereby UiTM, University Technology Bara, is one of the largest public university in Malaysia. That's include 34 branch campuses and one main campus in Shah Alam. So UiTM Dengkil is one of the branch campus that located in the region of Selangor. Of course, I would like to take some time also for to introduce our guests and also our colleague from abroad for this session. Of course, today with us we have our director of the Center of Foundation UiTM, Yang Berhormat Profesor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Farid Abidin. And of course, we do also have our Deputy Dean, Dr. Akmar Effendi, MCOM, Deputy Dean from University Islam Riau, and followed by our distinguished speakers and panel, Dr. Nick Nur Zihan, and also Dr. Dedikani. So we will go through about the introduction a bit later, but the sessions will be let's start the session with some doa citations from Ustad Ahmad Jamil bin Jafar. Accordingly, invite Ustad.
Thank you, Dr. Hussein. Marilah kita bersama-sama mengaminkan doa yang akan dibacakan bagi mohon keberkatan dan kerahmatan daripada Allah Subhanahu wa taala agar majlis kita berjalan dengan lancar insya-Allah. Al-Fatihah. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Kami rafakkan ya Muzilar Rahmah wa ya Fatihal Barakat. Kami rafakkan kesyukuran penuh pengharapan kerana pada hari ini kami masih diberi peluang untuk meneruskan pencarian rezeki yang melimpah ruah di atas muka bumimu yang luas ini. Engkau berkatilah dan rahmatilah perjalanan International Collaborative Teaching 2023 pada petang ini. Sesungguhnya engkau maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin menimba ilmumu bagi mengembangkan ilmu pengetahuan kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang engkau redai. Justeru kurniakanlah kepada kami limpahan ilmu-Mu. Sinarilah hati kami dengan hidayah-Mu agar kami mudah menerima dan menghayatinya dalam kehidupan kami. Ya Allah, Ya Mudabbiral Amr, pada saat dan detik ini kami pohonkan ihsan dan pimpinan-Mu agar engkau anugerahkan kepada kami kesabaran yang utuh, ketabahan yang jitu, kerjasama yang erat, semangat pemuafakatan yang padu dan semangat juang yang tidak mengenal erti putus asa dalam memikul tanggungjawab sebagai pencinta ilmu dan berusaha menyumbang tenaga, idea dan kepakaran demi meningkatkan kualiti pendidikan negara. Allahumma ya Rahman, ya Rahim, hanya padamu kami memohon, kurniakanlah kepada kami kejayaan dan kecemerlangan. Jadikanlah kami golongan hamba-Mu yang mendapat kemuliaan-Mu dunia dan akhirat. Panjangkanlah usia kami dengan ketaatan kepada-Mu dan suka berbakti kepada agama-Mu serta berjasa kepada bangsa dan negara. Allahumma ja'al jama'ana hadza jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Allahumma ighfir lana ذنوبنا والإخوان الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين تقبل الله منا ومنكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Amin, Rabbil Alamin. A very nice and doa citations from our Ustad Ahmad Jamil bin Jafar. Thank you so much. I'm sure our audience and also our guests are excited for today's session. Definitely, they are looking forward to more participate in this session. Without further ado, I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Farid Abidin for the welcoming speech and officiate these sessions. Prof, the floor is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Mr. MC Dr. Hussein. Yang berbahagia Associate Professor Dr. Engineer Muslim, Dean Faculty of Engineering Universitas Islam Riau, yang berusaha Dr. Dedikani Panoh, Senior Lecturers Faculty of Engineering Universitas Islam Riau, And also Yang Musa Dr. Nik Nozihana Cik Isa, Senior Lecturer Department of Chemistry, Center of Foundation Studies, University Teknologi Mara, and all the participants, which consists of lecturers and as well as the students. So please, first and foremost, let we praise Alhamdulillah to Allah, by His grace and blessing enable us to gather here for this event. We call it as this collaborative teaching event. So it is very great pleasure to say welcome to all the participants here to the International Collaborative Teaching under the title of Electrochemistry, Foundation and Applications, which organized by the Department of Chemistry, Center for Foundation Studies, UiTM, and in collaboration, which is collaborative work with the Faculty of Engineering Universitas Islam Riau. And I, as a director, are very grateful to pleased to have our counterpart from Universitas Islam Riau, which representing by the Dean of Faculty of Engineering, Associate Professor Dr. Engineer Muslim, with me today to support this inaugural event. And I also would like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate to organizing committee, which headed by the Dr. Nik Nozihana, and as well as their team members to make this program success. And we are very fortunate to have this team group with their tremendous support, cooperation, and hard work to ensure that this program working and success as what we have see today. Ladies and gentlemen, despite this event being semi-virtual, I feel honored to be part of this international collaborative teaching that has been managed to assemble academia and experts from both universities in order to exchange the idea, to exchange the knowledge, which I would say that beyond the norm. So actually, this is a blessing in disguise when we are facing the COVID-19, where this is going to force us, quote unquote, force us to be in virtual or semi-virtual event. This collaborative event also aims to provide opportunities for our students or for the students in University Islam Riau as well to earn and learn new knowledge regarding the foundation concepts and application, particularly in electrochemistry, from two backgrounds of academicians. And I would see that this is a very interesting platform through this collaboration where the student can get the information from both parties and both parties can exchange their idea. And also, I would say that this event is a very important as we now at UiTM drive our mission or our aspirations on the agenda of globally marketable on 2023, as well as the globally renowned university by 2025. And focusing on Asasi, this is also very important, where this is a step forward to fulfill our agenda on nurturing global talent at Asasi or nurturing global talent at ASI. This is very, very aligned or what we call it a very important event to fulfill the direction and aspiration from us as well as from the UiTM. So on behalf of the organizer, I wish to extend our warm welcome and express my gratitude to our counterpart from Universitas Islam Riau, which is Dr. Dedikan Impano, our invited speaker, and Encik Rizal Ruzurian Aldio, moderator from Universitas Islam Riau, for their willingness to be part of this event. And I'm very sure all the participants today is very eager to have or to gain the inside knowledge that they will be sharing with us shortly after this. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you to the organizing committee for their efforts in making this collaborative event as a success despite being held in semi-virtually from Indonesia and Malaysia. And the most important to materialize this event is from the IT and infrastructure support. Without their assistance, this event cannot be conducted in this manner. So again, I would like to give a big thank to our IT as well as the committee to ensure that this event happen as what we have we have experienced today. And I am very grateful to experts who have willingly come to share their knowledge today. I'm sure that you will have a fruitful and rewarding exchanges. On behalf of the UiTM, I would like to convey my humble appreciation to everyone here for the support and contributions. And I hope all of you will seize this golden opportunity to expand the knowledge and skill related to the topic which focusing on electrochemistry. So, lastly, before I end up my opening speech, I would like officially officiate the program which called as the International Collaborative Teaching Electrochemistry Foundation and Application with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And I end up my opening speech with Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Prof. Officially, our event for today been officiated. Thank you so much. And without further ado, we also would like to call upon our guest, Deputy Dean, Dr. Akmal Effendi, MCOM from the Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Islam Riau, cordially invited.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein Habibah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am speak Indonesian only. Bapak Ibu sekalian, sebelum kami menyampaikan sambutan ini, bahwa izinkan kami menyampaikan bahwa Dr. Muslim selaku Dekan Fakultas Teknik Universitas Islam Riau, mohon maaf karena yang bersangkutan tidak dapat hadir dan diwakilkan kepada kami untuk menyampaikan atas sambutan ini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang kami hormati adalah Profesor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Farid. Kemudian yang sama-sama kita hormati Dr. Nik Nurjahana binti Jaisha, Unit Kimia Pusat Asasi UiTM. Yang kami hormati Dr. Dedi Karni selaku Pensarah dari Universitas Islam Riau, dan yang kami hormati Bapak Ibu yang berhadir pada acara International Cooperative Teaching 2003 Electrochemistry Foundational and Application. Kami dapat berita tadi pagi bahwa ada suatu acara, pada prinsipnya kami Fakultas Teknik pesan daripada tadi sangat support sekali untuk melaksanakan collaboration ini, kolaborasi internasional teaching ini. Dan nanti untuk penjelasannya nanti kami akan wakilkan kepada Pak Dedi Karni untuk menyampaikan apa-apa nanti yang menjadi materi pada siang yang bahagia ini. Kami tak bisa menyampaikan terlalu banyak, intinya kami sampaikan bahwa kami di Fakultas Teknik di Universitas Islam Riau akan support sepenuhnya untuk terbentuknya acara yang dilaksanakan pada collaboration teaching 2023 ini. Insyaallah dalam perjalanan nanti itu akan berjalan lancar dan tidak mendapat kendala yang berarti. Nah, untuk itu kami mohon izin tidak bisa terlalu banyak menyampaikan atas sambutan ini. Kami mengucapkan kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian, mari kita menyaksikan nanti apa-apa yang disampaikan materi kolaborasi teaching 2023 ini dengan baik, insya Allah lancar dan Allah SWT memberikan rahmat dan karunia-Nya. Demikian yang dapat kami sampaikan dalam kata sambutan ini. Semoga bermanfaat dan selamat dan sukses bagi kita semua. Insya Allah Allah akan memberkatinya. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi. Terima kasih kepada Dr. Akmal Effendi. So without further ado, the most important for today, the webinar session, the hybrid sessions between UiTM and also UIR. I'm sure our participants are very excited, waiting for this moment. Just want to get some feedback before we really go into the session. Maybe we can zoom in. Those are in the main hall with us. Maybe I can see. How are you guys? Oh, wow. Why you are so tired, am I right? I can see you clearly now. How are you? Good? Lambai sikit. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Guys, come. Okay? Ah, that's good. Very good, very good. That is the excitement that we needed. Are you excited for today's sessions? Are you excited for today's session? Yes? No, okay. I'm sure all of us are very excited and waiting for where is my student, S19 and S20? Are you there? Okay, therefore, I would like to continue with today's session with the first slot of the presentation of the speaker with the title of Foundation and Application. For this session, why not we make it a bit different by inviting my friends, which is Pak Riza Zulrian Aldio. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong, to chair the session and become the moderator to the session. Of course, our panel is Dr. Nick, also waited, very excited. So I will give the floor to Pak Rizal to continue.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Hussein Hanibah, for the passing the turn for the first session. But firstly, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all of the participants right here, the honorable, the Professor Dr. Insinyur Ahmad Farid Abidin as the director of the Pusat Asasi UiTM, and then our Vice Dean, Akmal Effendi MCom, and then for the both speakers, Dr. Norzihana and Dr. Dedi Karni, and surely last but not least, Dr. Hussein Hanibah as the second moderator and the MC for today. All right, first let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Riza Zurian Aldio. I'm one of the lecturers in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in UIR, Universitas Islam Riau.
Pak Rizal, maybe, why not we take a group photo? I forgot in the first place to take a group photo because our guests might have something to do. So why not we take a group photo? So I hope give all of us, the panel and also student in the main hall, give the best style or best smile to the photo. Prof, are you ready as well? Okay. With the count of the 3, 2, 1. And one more, maybe a freestyle. And those are in the main halls also, please. In the count of 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And forgive me for in the first place, I forgot to take the picture. So again, Parizal, I will pass the floor to you to continue the session.
Siap, Dr. Hussein. Saya minta diri Dr. Hussein.
Boleh, Prof.
Okay. All the best. Nice to meet all of you. So maybe we can do more collaborative effort after this, insyaAllah. Okay, carry on.
InsyaAllah.
Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
All right, then let me continue with our first session. Thank you, Dr. Hussein. a great idea to take a picture together. And well, before I introduce you, before I invite our first speaker of the day, I would like to give an introduction of the CV of our first speaker, and allow me here to share my screen to show you the curriculum vitae of our first speaker. All right. All right, right here. All right, this will be a brief introduction. But our first speaker of the day is Dr. Nick Norzihana, as you can see here. She is a senior lecturer in UiTM, and her academic qualification is in electrochemistry. So this is her expertise from the bachelor up to PhD. And then she's also worked before in a company, a Bright Star Oil, which is also about the oil and including a chemical, I'm sure. And her research interests are antimicrobial, antimicrobial copper, electrochemical techniques, metal coatings, biomaterials, and then there is also synthesis of products. And she's also a professional membership of the Institute of Materials in Malaysia, in short IMM, and also graduate technologies for the Malaysia Board of Technologies MBOT. She's also in a group in electrochemical materials and sensors, EMAS, I think we call it. And for the research, she has been conducted a few research here, mainly about electrochemical behavior. The selected one here is antimicrobial copper that I mentioned before. And there are also some students, either postgraduate and undergraduate student under her supervision. And the expertise here, which maybe I could not mention one by one, but we can see here that she's a very expertise in her field in electrochemistry. So it is very lucky for us today to have her to share the knowledge and the experience that she had. And lastly, there is some awards that she got from gold medal to bronze medal too, and then other recognitions. And there's one patent or copyright that is about the antimicrobial copper coated touch surfaces. And there are many publications that she had written before. So that is the brief introduction, I think, because I think our students here in both universities is eager to learn from our first and second speaker. So without further ado, I'll pass to Dr. Nick Norzihana to start her lecture. Please, Dr. Nur.
Thank you very much, Pariza, for welcoming me. All right, so before I start, let me share my screen first.
Maybe also, Dr. Nick, we should tell our audience, those are in the main hall and also YouTube, that we are going to have a quiz sessions, and also some gift is waiting for those answer accordingly and right answer.
All right, okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hussein. So, students, are you listening from Dr. Hussein that at the end of the session, so we will have a quiz, and those who can answer the all the quiz with the correct answer will receive any gift from us, right? So make sure you stay focused, and let's start our lecture for this evening. Okay, so I think Pak Reza already introduced me to you guys, and as Pak Reza mentioned, I'm expert in the electrochemistry, and from my PhD study, I focus on the surface properties and performance of copper coatings, on the antimicrobial activities, performance of copper coatings electrode deposited on 304 stainless steel, right? So do you know the term electrode deposited here come from where? This is from the reduction of the electrochemistry, okay? All right. So electrochemistry actually in our center of foundation study for the chemistry, so we are under topic 4, okay? So electrochemistry. So this is the content that we learn in foundations of chemistry. We have 5 subtopics, okay? So we have a redox, galvanic cells, standard electrode potential, non-standard, and electrolytic cell and its applications. If you want to learn more about the electrochemistry under the foundation study, you can go to the YouTube channel of Dr. Hussein. Okay, type Hussein Hanibah and search electrochemistry. Okay, so you will learn more about the content of electrochemistry in our Center of Foundation Study. Okay, do you get the link, students? Yeah, all right. So of course, when we are talking about the electrochemistry actually the study of the redox reactions, okay, that they produce or require an electric current. So the word redox is come here, the reduction and oxidation, right? So of course, when we are talking about the electrochemistry, so we familiar with this term, oil rig. Okay, so oil is a part of the oxidation and rig is part of the reduction. What is oil? What is rig? Oil is the oxidation is lost and reduction is gain. What is lost? What is gain? Of course, the electron, because redox reactions are involved the transfer of electrons from one species to another one. We call it the reduction oxidation, or in short term, redox. Alright? So reducing agent will undergo oxidation and will lost electron oil, and the oxidizing agent will undergo reduction, which is it should be gain electrons. Okay, so instead of the oil rigs punya terms, so that this is the difference between the oxidations and reduction in redox reaction. Okay, so oxidation is lost oil again, so oil lost electrons, so that it will increase the oxidation number, so we know it as a reducing agent. Okay, so for the oxidation agents, usually a compound adds oxygen and lost hydrogen. Okay, so you can see here from the half equation, if the oxidation, the electron always appear at the product at the right hand side. Okay, so the electron always appear at the product because it lost electron. Okay, so while for the reduction, Rick, okay, so the reduction will gain electrons. Okay, so then the oxidation number will decrease. We know it as the oxidizing agent because the compound lost oxygen and gains hydrogens. Okay, so if you look at for the half equations here, we can see that the electrons always appear at the right hand side, at the left hand side. Okay, so this is the difference between the oxidations and reduction. All right, so if you look at here, these consider as electrochemical cells. So we have the galvanic cell and the electrolytic cell. From the figure, can you see the difference between these two electrochemical cells? Of course, yes, right? If you look at here, galvanic cell, you have two separated half cell, and electrolytic cell, everything's under in one cell. Okay, before we go further for the differences, we look at for the similarities first. Okay, so for both electrochemical cells, the redox reactions takes place. Okay, so here we can see both cell contains of the anode and also the cathode, where the redox reactions takes place. Okay, so the oxidation always takes place in anode, and the reductions always takes place in cathode, in both either galvanic cell or the electrolytic cell. So this is the similarities of these two electrochemical cells. Now we look at for the difference between of these two cells. Okay, so obviously we can see here for the galvanic cell, we have two separated half cell that connected with this one we call as a short bridge. Okay, right, so here we can see that the anode is negative. However, for the electrolytic cell, anode should be positive, and the cathode for the galvanic cell is positive while electrolytic is negative, right? Because if you notice here, the galvanic cell considered as a spontaneous reactions because it is not required any external voltage, right? So the voltage here is measured by the voltmeter directly. However, the electrolytic cell, this one require an external voltage sources like a battery because the process here is non-spontaneous reactions, right? So this is the difference between the these two electrochemical cells. Okay, so now we go further for the galvanic cell, right? So the galvanic cell here, remember you have separated house cell here. Okay, so we also know the galvanic cell as a voltaic cell, which produce electrical energy through a spontaneous chemical reaction. Okay, so the chemical reaction always takes place on its own half cell. We have the half cell for the anode, we have the half cell for the cathode. Okay, and its the reactions are physically separated. Okay, so the half cell here, for example, look at the anode here. So it must consist of the electrode and the electrolyte, which is the solutions that contains of the ions that need to be oxidized. For example, here you have the zinc electrode. Okay, so that the solutions here is your zinc ions. Okay, and look at the cathode. The cathode also has the electrodes and also the solutions that contains of the ions that need to be reduced and deposited at the cathode, right? And then the half cell here are connected to the external circuit, okay, and you have the wire here, okay, click between the anode and cathode, and the electron always flow from anode to cathode, right? And the short bridge here is to complete the electrical circuit. Okay, so it's the function of short bridge to complete the electrical circuit, right? So here is the main component of the galvanic cell. So you must have the half cell, the short bridge, and also the electrode where the oxidations will occur at the anode. Usually we take place it at the left hand side, and the reduction will occur at the cathode, usually take place at the right hand side. Right, so from the system here, this is the way how to write the cell notations for this galvanic cell. Okay, so here look at for the anode force. First, you have the zinc electrode and the zinc 2 plus ions as the solutions. So write down the anode first. So start with the electrodes and separate with the single phase and write down the ions. Okay, so the single double line here represent the short bridge and followed with the cathode. So for the cathode, you start with the ion first and followed by the electrodes. The electrodes here we use the copper electrodes. Okay, so basically this is the IUPAC cell notations for the galvanic cell. We also use here the A, B, C. A represent anode, B the short bridge, and C for the cathode. Alright? And this is important here to insist all the physical states in the cell notations, right? So look at here, okay? So at the anode side, the A, so you start with the electrode first, separate with the phase boundary, and then the electrolyte, okay? And then double line here for the short bridge, and for the cathode, start with the ion first, phase boundary, and the electrodes. Okay, so this is the cell notations for the galvanic cell. Right, so are you okay right now, students? Are you okay? Okay, all right, okay. So now we go for the electrolytic cell. Okay, so we look at for the difference between the galvanic cell and the electrolytic cell. Okay, so for the electrolytic cell, usually the electrolysis is the chemical process that use electricity for the non-spontaneous redox reactions occur in the electrolytic cell. So if you look at here, you only have one cell for the electrolytic cell, which these two electrodes immerse in an electrolyte here. Okay, so you have the anode, you have the cathode, and you have a battery as a source of the direct current. So the electrolyte here, it might be the aqueous or molten salt, okay? And the electrolyte must have contents of the anions and cations, okay? So if you look at here, your anode is a positive charge and cathode is a negative charge. Your electrolyte here, for example, you have copper sulfate. So Cu2 plus will attracted to the so it should be the cathode here, negative charge, right? So that the copper 2 plus will attracted to the cathode, And SO4 2 minus will attracted to the anode because anode here is a positive charge, right? So the different charge will attracted to the anode and cathode. Alright? Okay. So for sure, when we are talking about the electrolysis, so we have product formed at the anode and at the cathode. So so here I mentioned a few factors that affecting the products of the electrolysis. Okay, so first of it, of course, the standard potential, or we call is the standard reduction potential from the table here. Okay, so that if you have more positive inert reduction, so that the species will reduce at the cathode first. Okay, and if you have more negative inert reduction, so it will easier to oxidize at the anode. Okay, so if you look at here, as I mentioned before, the electrolyte may be aqueous solutions or molten salt. If you are intend to reduce or deposit some metals using the ecosystem, so you have to consider the positions of the metals or the ions from the SRP table, standard reduction potential. Okay, so you look at here, this is the water. Okay, so the water here is negative 8.3. So you must choose the ions that under the water positions or more positive than water. So these ions that will reduce and deposited at your cathode electrodes. Okay. So what if you try to deposit the aluminium, let's say, okay? If possible, you have the aqueous solutions. If you want to deposit aluminium at the cathode, okay, the answer is no, because if you look at here, before the aluminium try to deposit at the cathode electrodes, the water will come, reduce and deposited at the cathode first. So the best way, if you try to deposit the aluminium by using the electrochemical techniques, so you must have the molten electrolyte for the aluminium. All right. And for the second factor here is the concentrations of the ions in electrolyte. For sure, more concentrated ion is easier to discharge at the electrode. Okay, so the words discharge here mean that reduce. Okay, so discharge, reduce and deposited at the electrodes, the cathode one. Okay, and the factors number 3 is the nature of electrodes. Either you use the active metal electrode or inert electrode. Usually these electrodes considered at the anode side, because you know that the anode, the oxidations occur. What happened for the oxidation? The dissolution. Okay, for example, you use an active metal electrode. You use, for example, we take a copper electrode at the anode side. Okay, at certain potential, the anode will dissolve in the solutions, right? Or if you use the inert electrodes may be the carbon, the platinum, right? So that the inert electrodes will not dissolve. However, it will only produce the oxygen gas at the anode, all right? So you have to consider all these factors in order to predict or produce a desired product at your electrodes, all right? Okay, so I bring here one of the example from my PhD study and my current research. Okay, so the surface properties and antimicrobial performance of copper coatings electrodeposited using the electrochemical technique. All right. So here, if you can see here the figures here, some of the coatings that I already made in the lab. Okay, it's very simple techniques. So you have the electrochemical cell, you have the anode, you have the cathode, you have the battery, you have the wire in order to connect this so that electron can flow, right? So I just use the copper sulfate solutions. So we focus at the reduction side. So which part of the reduction? Anode or cathode? For sure at the cathode side. Okay. So what happened in the system? So that copper 2 plus will attracted to the cathode because cathode now in the negative charge, so that the copper 2 plus here will reduce and deposited at this cathode. For the cathode here, I use the 304 stainless steel. So this is basically the image of the uncoated stainless steel made for my cathode here. Okay. So when I apply a certain conditions and parameter so that I can deposit copper on this cathode surface. So can look at here, we can coat the copper on the stainless steel even from the different surfaces. So what is the important here? How actually the foundations of the electrochemistry and the research here can be related. For sure is the how to make sure the products form. Okay, so all these factors need to be considered together with the certain laws. Okay, so in this case, so I applied the concept of the Ohm's law and also the Nernst equations. Because students, if you notice that from the Ohm's law, when we're trying to increase the current, of course we need to increase the voltage so that when I apply certain voltage here by the battery here, so that the current here will increase, then it will fast the process of the reductions and reduction. Okay. However, look at the R here. R is a resistance. Okay. Ya, boleh Pak Reza. No problems.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ni. We are so immersed in your explanation before, and it is piqued my interest about this topic that just recently you conveyed to us about the codings. Because as you can see here, we're in the mechanical engineering. We have the application for this kind of phenomena for electroplating, I guess. So, what is the parameters that are usually take into account when you try to do electroplating in some cases, maybe?
All right. So when we are talking about the parameters, for sure we are intended to focus on the desired product. What is the properties? What is the looks like of our products, right? So the parameters usually that I focus during the lab, I look at for the parameters involved in the Ohm's law and the Nernst equation first. Okay, so for sure we have to know the right applied potential. Okay, so it's come from this one, the standard potential. So when we know the applied potential, so that we can control the current. However, as I mentioned here, the resistance of electrolyte is the one of the factors that we need to take in care. Okay, because when we are supplying the ecosystem, when we do the process in the ecosystem, the water is not good conductive solutions. So that how to reduce the resistance is very important. In my case, I use it in acidic solutions, or maybe we can add more additive in the solution so that the resistance will be decreased, so that it's easier the process of electrode deposition. Okay, and we also focus on the Nernst equations because if you look at here, the concentrations will affect the products. Okay, meaning that when we increase the concentrations, so that the more ions will reduce and deposited on our substrates lah, so that the coating is will better.
And it is interesting that you said before about the previous table, because I think this is, from the title that we know that this is about electrochemistry, right? And as far as I know about an electric, I think this is related when you say that there is a standard potential here, right? I think the mechanical engineering student would relate to. So is there any like a value that the circuit need to surpass so the current would flow, right? Is that the concept here?
Yeah, okay. So because Pak Reza, Dr. Dedi, Dr. Hussein and all the students here, okay, so if for example here, if we are intent to reduce the copper, for example, reduce the copper from here, we compare to the standard hydrogen electrodes. However, in the lab, we never use the standard hydrogen electrodes because it's not easy to produce the electrode. So usually we will use the reference electrode, either silver chloride or saturated calamine electrode. So we compare to this one. For example, if we are trying to reduce and deposit the copper on the cathode, so based on this table, we need to achieve the current or the voltage at 0.34 and above. So meaning that at this potential, the current high enough to make sure that copper can reduce and able to deposit on the electrode surface. Okay, Pak Reza?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Nick.
All right. Okay, welcome.
Dr. Nick, if you
Yeah,
don't mind, I just would like to add of a previous slide,
yeah. Previous slide. This one?
the one that have a reduction and oxidation.
This one?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. At this particular point, I noticed to determine the oxidation and reduction is quite important because we need to recalculate the E naught for a particular cell system. Am I right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but sometimes student may get confused. They might do not know cathode what reaction is happen, and also what is actually on anode oxidation or reduction. Student get confused on that particular point. So this is my personally. This is how I remember, and in fact, in the class as well, I do teach my student how what should you remember, what is actually what reaction happen at the anode and cathode. I do put it like this, Dr. Nick, Dr. Dedi, and Pak Rizal. This is maybe it look sound funny, but this work for me, which is I remember like this: red cat and ox.
Red
Red
cat
cat
Red cat
and
and
ox.
ox.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
or
So meaning that
Okay.
reduction for the cathode, oxidation for the
Yes.
anode. All right.
Excellent. But remember this way, I believe the student they might have a less confused about the cathode and anode reaction accordingly. That's a some plus point I do it. Thank you, Dr. Nick.
All right. Thank you to Dr. Hussein for your interesting tips actually. So students, remember cat, red cat, ox.
an ox.
Again, Dr.
Red
Hussein?
red cat and ox.
An ox.
Red cat and ox. All right. Okay, red.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hussein. So
Yeah, it's
basically,
very
this is
helpful.
what I'm done during my research studies. Okay, to coding. So uh, of course, you wonder for what I'm doing the coatings. Okay, so why I'm trying to coat the copper on the stainless steel surface, for example, and produce all these coatings. Okay, so actually because we back again for the applications, because we want to take the antimicrobial performance of the copper. Okay, so if you look at here, all right, so this is actually the coatings that I produce. Okay, so the coating here. Okay, so by we optimum the parameters involved so that we can produce the nanostructures of the copper coatings. Okay, so this is we image from the field emission scanning electron microscope, right? And we can look at from the AFM, atomic force microscopic, for the roughness. And we also, it's very important to study the adhesions between the coatings and the substrate at interface. Okay, that's why here is very important to make sure that the water is not interrupt our process. Okay, so let's say if we apply too large voltage so that the water also can reduce, so that for sure we cannot produce a good adhesions coatings between the coating and the substrates, because you know that the water, what is the product of the water reduction, Dr. Hussein? Hydrogen gas, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So the hydrogen gas will
Tiba-tiba Dr. Nick tanya soalan kena catat pula. Sorry, Dr. Nick.
the hydrogen gas will make your adhesions is not good, because you know that it produce a bubble in between the process. All right, so it's important to get the best parameter in order to get a good desired products of your coatings. Okay, so to show the antimicrobial activity, so you can look at this graph, right? So this is the stainless steel uncoated one, and this one is coated with the copper coatings. So you can see here, this one I tested again the Staphylococcus aureus bacteria. Apa bakteria ni boleh buat dekat kita? Pak Reza, apa agaknya bakteria ni? Sakit perut
Yeah.
ke?
Corrosion kan? Apa kan?
Ha, termasuk bakteria pula.
Bacteria. And this is interesting too, Dr. Nick. What is the application of this coding actually? Is it in biomedical field or?
This one we are focusing on the not really biomedical, however for the hygienic surface. Ha,
Sorry, what?
hygienic. The
Hygienic surface.
hygienic surface, because nowadays, for example, we are take example during the COVID-19, we are trying to reduce the bacteria virus contaminations at the surface by okay, so that one is the one of the purpose of the coatings to make sure that the surface is hygiene.
Oh,
Because when we using the copper surface, okay, so that the bacteria or the virus will kill, and if you look at here, within the 10 minutes, all the surviving bacteria is already die, because the actually the copper is toxic to the bacteria. So that is the concept of
I
this
see.
one lah.
So there is the exposure time right here, yeah, from
Yeah,
0 to, I think from the image here, it's 10 minutes is enough, right?
yeah, sure, yeah, that's right.
100%.
Okay. Within the 10 minutes, we can see all the surviving bacteria. The Staph aureus bacteria here is a gram-positive bacteria. Usually, we can find the bacteria at the
Oh,
hospital. Okay,
okay.
so all the bacteria is already died, because the copper is toxic to the bacteria. And the functions of the nanostructure and also the high surface roughness ni, it's the copper coating surface give more effect to kill the bacteria compared to the solid copper one.
Oh,
So that
so
is the novelty of this research.
very, very great. I mean, I'm also interested one more thing actually, because personally I'm in a manufacturing process field, and the surface roughness is like a main indicator for us when we doing machining, right? But
Mhm.
then I saw this image that you get the high surface roughness, right?
Mm-mm.
So does it mean that higher surface roughness would increase the chance to kill the bacteria, or is it the other way?
Yeah, truly, Pak Reza, because if we have the high surface roughness together with the nanostructures of the coatings, so that when the bacteria try to attach the surface, so that it will suddenly rupture the cell of the bacteria because of the
Oh,
function of the surface compared to the smooth one.
okay. So bacteria wise, is it is good to have a like a higher surface roughness then? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. That's why our focus or our intent to get the optimum parameters in order to get the high surface roughness and also nanostructure of the particles.
All right, I see.
That,
Because if we combine both field, I mean, bacteria wise, higher surface roughness is good, but from machining wise, I think a smoother surface is actually preferred over the other
uh,
one. So maybe we should find like an optimized value of surface roughness then, maybe, in my opinion.
yeah, sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
Maybe
It's
we
it's
can
great.
create another collaborations to make
Yeah.
this this research extend, and maybe students from the foundations or UIR can maybe interested in this research can join us as a students and further the research. Maybe. All right. Okay. So
Dr.
and
Nick, I just wonder, if you don't mind, Dr. Nick, sorry to interrupt you.
okay.
Since you are talking about this on bacteria species and everything, is that applicable if you are going to talk about the global issue now about the COVID, the viruses? Is that still applicable? Is there any possibility to be doing on this electrochemistry application in terms of sanitation. It means we might use less chemical for sanitation rather than then we substitute with some electroplating method.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Hussein. And one of the my proposal under the COVID phenomena already submitted to the MOSTI, and now under revised to consider the antimicrobial touch surface one of the alternative to combat the virus contaminations at the surface. Especially we are talking about the COVID-19 currently lah. And during my research, I have a copyright as Pak Reza mentioned earlier under the topics of antimicrobial copper coated touch surfaces. And under this research also, we managed to get the gold awards, for example, at certain innovations competitions and several publications that we already published uh, in order to the topics lah, which is focusing on the electrodepositions, right? So I think that's all from me. Thank you. And if you're interested to know about my research, so you can email me anytime. All right. Thank you very much. And Assalamualaikum. I will pass my sessions to Pak Reza again. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Dr. Ne, for the sharing knowledge and experience that you had. I'm sure it is a very good insight for all of us here, not just the students, but also the lecturers in both universities, hopefully. And I'm sure maybe in the YouTube there are some questions maybe from the students, but I would have to say that we are saving your questions right now, and then we could discuss and answer the question later after the second session, after the second speaker. So, if I may to recap from the first speaker sharing session, then I would say that the research about the antimicrobial is very, very interesting and open up the opportunity for people to collaborate together, right? It's like involving multidisciplinary studies then, because as I gained from the lecture before, that I know that actually sometimes the roughness, the surface roughness is not always the smoother one is not always the good one, because that once again it depends on the purpose of the study. And so we can still discuss about the first session today, and maybe our second speaker, second speaker have an opinion, or maybe would like just jump to the second session. Dr. Dedikarni, maybe you would like to add some information for us here today? No?
No.
Okay, I think I think Dr. Dedikarni would continue in another session with Dr. Hussein. So thank you very much once again, Dr. Nick, and all the participants too. And I think this is it from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I pass to Dr. Hussein.
Thank you so much, Pak Reza, for your session and a wonderful first slot with the Dr. Nick. Well, thank you so much with your, especially I'm also personally my PhD, my research also interrelated with electrochemistry. And my study of electrochemistry, it focused on optimization of the electrolyte itself. And of course, we are talking about in the calculation of the ion mobility. That is what I'm doing in my PhD and my research. And of course, I noticed Dr. Nick have opened some idea to us to optimize the application. Because whenever I notice, whenever we are talking about electrochemistry, some of the student might have oxidation, reduction, electron, cation, and not cathode. That sounds so might be so lame, or might sometimes they feel like, so okay, only this is the scope. But by exposing our this kind of a new concept to our audience, not only from UiTMs in the main hall, they also from those audience from Indonesia that are they are listened from outside, they get some idea that is all about application of electrochemistry, not only narrow down to certain application. Because at the earlier we have learned, maybe in a very basic chemistry, we learn so much that when it comes to electrochemistry, it's very how to say, normally they look at the electroplating, extraction of metals, and also purifications and everything. But now Dr. Nick have give a different point of view. Thank you so much, Dr. Nick. I think, is everyone okay in the main hall? Okay, Dr. Reddy and also Pak Riza, just a moment. We have some technical issue, especially from our main halls. Okay, but the live is still ongoing on our YouTube live channels. But the main hall, we are actually trying to connect it back. Oh, okay, they can see us. Okay. We are the one having problems. Okay, that I'm sure our audience and also our audience in the main halls and also the YouTube channel are very excited with our second speaker, Dr. Reddy. Is our second speaker. I think you are so excited and you are happy to share more about the today's session, especially share your application, your research and things. Let me introduce. I think Dr. Dedi no need a special introduce because you are well known in your field. But nevertheless, let me read out your resume. You have a very outstanding resume and also CV that you have shared with me. But Dr. Dedi, if I want to read all your performance or achievement, it take maybe I need an hour to talk about you. So I make it summarize about your achievement. Of course, Dr. Dedi graduated your PhD in Mechanical and Material Engineering University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Oh, daripada UKM ni, or Malaysia. That's a very good, Dr. Dedi. And also your master also from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM. You have graduated almost the similar fields of the material engineering. And we are talking about what you have achieved. It is outstanding achievement. You have won a lot of local and international awards. That is a very outstanding, include the bronze medal, silver medal at the international level for your research. On top of that, your performance, your experience in teaching in a variety of fields, by supervising undergraduate and postgraduate, include a postdoc student, is one of the achievement that you have done. And of course, your field of expert, I would say ceramic technology, powder and polymer technology, include XRD, SEM, AFM, TEM. Maybe the audience foundation level from our here, they might wondering what is actually this stand for. Don't worry. When you are pursuing to the higher level, definitely you will come across those term in detail. And of course, Dr. Dedi, you are your achievement, Dedi Karni, in terms of a composite process, surface coating, which is a similar topic that have been Dr. Nick have mentioned, thin film and nanotechnology. And of course, Dr. Dedi, you have certain patents, you have supervised thesis, journal conference, and your publication. I'm very proud to announce that at the moment, at this particular moment, you have more than 30 international publication, local, international. That is amazing. It is amazing. We as a new researcher in the field of research, or we are a bit younger, maybe younger a bit, we are still struggle a lot to publish international publication. So, Dr. Dedi, I think this is a bit of the achievement. I say this is just a summarize, even though you have a very, very powerful, outstanding CV. So, Dr. Dedi, without further ado, I'm so excited to look at your presentation and want to learn a lot of your presentation. I'm sure our audience from the main hall and from our friends, our friends from Indonesia and from YouTube channel are very waited this moment. So with very respectively, I would like to invite Dr. Dr. Dedi for the presentation. Thank you, Dr.
Speaker Bapak itu. Bukan saya. Speaker Bapak itu. Biar orang bisa dengar. Okay. Thank you, Mr. MC, Dr. Hussein, very powerful moderator. Okay.
Yes, Dr. Dedi.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about application in electrochemistry, application in electrochemistry in future technology. Okay. Yes. Correct. Before I explain about fuel cell as the application of electrochemistry, we have several contents. Firstly, what is the fuel cell, and then secondly, how it works, and then mechanism of fuel cell, and fuel cell type, and then application of fuel cell, and fuel cell as renewable energy research in UIR, and then research collaboration, matching grant, and internal grant, and then award, patent, and publication in fuel cell. Okay. What is fuel cell? Fuel cell is electrical device that converts chemical energy into electric energy. So the cell capable of generating electricity by converting the chemical energy of the fuel as hydrogen, methane, and otherwise directly into energy. Okay, this is, you can see that figure of single cell. On fuel cell, we have three major components: cathode, electrolyte, and anode. Same like the technique explained before. Okay. Okay. How it works? A fuel cell. Fuel cell. Hydrogen as a fuel enter the cathode anode side and then become oxidized and go through the cathode side to make the oxygen, but the electron cannot go to the cathode side because of we have the electrolyte. However, the electron will go through the external circuit to make the power. To make power, after that made the oxygen, and then have equation on the anode side S2, and then oxidize 2 H2 and plus 2 lost 2 electron to make the flow external circuit, and then reduction of oxygen in cathode side. Cathode side oxygen insert the cathode side and then meet the S2 and electron to produce of part S2S2O. In the future,
Dr. Dedi, are you with us? Fariza?
tak boleh.
Okay, Dr. Dedi?
Okay.
Okay, Dr.
Okay. Okay. Fuel cell produce majority of electrical power, but the residue produce water and little bit heat. This is conclusions. Okay. Mechanism of fuel cell. Fuel cell consists two electrode, anode and cathode, and the electrolyte the middle. Hydrogen and oxygen feed the into cell, hydrogen and oxygen, and then a catalyst at the anode cause the hydrogen atom to give up electron, leaving the positive charged proton. Okay, proton go through the cathode side. Okay, oxygen ions, the cathode side attracts the hydrogen proton, then proton pass through the electrolyte membrane, and the electron redirect to cathode through the external circuit to produce the power for the any user, and then produce electrical current. This is okay. Many pieces on the in the wall. We have the 6 type of fuel cell based on electrolyte. Firstly, PEM fuel cell proton as a membrane fuel cell have the 40 to 90 operating temperature with hydrogen fuel and oxygen and A as the oxidant, but proton as a membrane as electrolyte need the noble metals for catalyst. PEM fuel cell leading for transportation like bus, bicycle, and us. Okay. So secondly, alkaline fuel cell need the 40 until 200 operating temperature, still hydrogen as fuel and oxygen and He for the oxidant, and then KOS as electrolyte, still noble metals. This is a fuel type developed for Apollo program. Okay, thirdly, direct methanol fuel cell. This is micromethanol. Need 60 until 130 operating temperature with the methanol as fuel and oxygen or A as the oxidant, still proton as the membrane as electrolyte, still need the noble metals. This is noble metal for the catalyst. Okay, and for a phosphoric acid fuel cell need the 200 operating temperature, still hydrogen for the fuel and oxygen and or a as oxidant, but they need the phosphoric acid as electrolyte, and then still need noble metals. This unit use the commercial available for combined heat and power system.
Sorry, doctor. May I know what is the best noble metals that can be used as a catalyst for the fuel cell punya applications? Maybe we can use platinum or what
Platinum. The best
metals?
metal is platinum, but they reduce the cost. Now we ask research about the ruthenium. Ruthenium.
Oh,
The repeat the platinum the highest cost.
all right, all right. Okay, thank you, doctor.
Okay, the last second last don't need noble metals, but it needs high temperature fuel cell, 600 to 950 operating temperature, and need more fuel like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen as the fuel, and oxygen, still oxygen and air as oxidant. But the electrolyte for the molten carbonate, but the solid oxide ceramic metal composite. Now, no need the noble metal, but need the high temperature. Okay. This is the proton as the membrane fuel cell. We can see this is the fuel cell stack. One fuel cell stack consists a single cell, minimum single cell. One single cell consists cathode, electrolyte, and anode to produce electricity. If you can more electricity, maybe you can add more single cell. This is a mechanism. Uh, hydrogen distribute in the bipolar plate, and then meet the catalyst to split S plus and electron, and then continue go to the cathode side. Okay, this is a mechanism of PEM fuel cell, bipolar plate. In the UIR, we are research about bipolar plate from the carbon pump canal, and then this is bipolar plate, and then the hydrogen profile, and then distribute, and then go through gas diffusion layer until meet the carbon black. In the carbon black, platinum catalyst. Okay, and then platinum catalyst split the hydrogen to H plus, and then the electron go to the external circuit. In the anode side, reaction 2 has to split to 4 half S plus and lose 4 electron, and then the cathode side oxygen meet the 4 S plus, and then meet the 4 electron to produce water. Okay. According the we are topic, and then of PEM fuel cell lead the transportation like bicycle, scooter, a car, and then laptop and last bus. This is application of PEM fuel cell middle user. Okay, this is the direct methanol fuel cell or micro fuel cell, just for handphone and maximum for laptop. This is just acrylic gasket like the keypad, and then this is current collector, just mesh of stainless steel mesh. You make direct methanol very easy, and then you insert the methanol.
Doctor, just wondering, Dr. Reddy, if you don't mind, Dr. Reddy. So, do you mean you have managed to fabricate those battery, Dr. Reddy, for the application?
No, battery is different with fuel cell. Battery
Mm-hmm.
we collect current for the electricity, but
Uh-huh.
fuel cell we give electricity for battery.
Okay, okay.
We
So
need
you managed to
hydrogen.
fabricate? Yeah, but sorry, doctor.
We need just hydrogen for
Uh-huh.
electricity, but the battery need electricity from otherwise, maybe combustion engine and any else.
So the doctor is mean from your previous slide, doctor. You have mentioned all the substances. Is that substance actually act as a electrolyte for this fuel cell?
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Hmm.
then I understood, doctor. So they will use that and they do the fuel cell and fabricate. Have your research have proceed further for this application, doctor?
Oh, electrolyte.
Yeah, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Yeah, I'm research electrolyte in the solid oxide fuel cell. Solid
Mm-hmm.
electrolyte.
Oh, solid polymer. Is that
Ah,
using polymer?
polymer and the research my master, but I am uh, research about bipolar plate, electrode, not
Okay,
electrolyte.
okay,
Hmm.
okay. Understood, doctor.
Hmm.
Because my personal field of study is focused more onto the electrolyte, and
Hmm.
yours one is the one supply.
Hmm.
That make the things clear. I'm really clear about it. Thank you so much, doctor.
Okay. This is the photo of the 6-cell direct methanol fuel cell. This is one single cell, two single cells, four single cell, three single cell, four single cell, five single cell, and six single cell. And then you can input methanol, and then we collect the current in the current collector. Okay. This is performance of 6-cell direct metanolysis stack with the 34 centimeter square active area for different methanol concentration from 2 molar till 6 molar in ambient air conditions. This is the high power, this power on the 5 molar. You can refer the my in hydrogen international journal with out Mazda et al 2016. Okay, this is the solid oxide fuel cell. This is my PhD research, and then we research electrolyte, in the solid oxide cell, cathode and not the electrolyte sandwich into, then the middle is electrolyte, and then oxygen from the A flow to the cathode, oxygen. Okay, the ceramic fuel cell for a ceramic fuel cell, and then oxygen can flow, and then fuel gas contain hydrogen such as methane, carbon dioxide, float the anode, and then oxygen migrate through electrolyte and react with hydrogen from water. From hydrogen, water, and then the water react the methane fuel to form carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Electron from the electrochemical reaction flow from the anode to cathode through the external load, same like the before. And then, but now we research about the why this is the high temperature operating temperature. Now we can reduce the operating temperature, but we can research about the electrolyte depend the operating temperature.
So, Dr. Dedi, it
Yeah.
mean your system over here is more to a green chemistry, isn't it? Because the product they produce are just a hydrogen gas and water, something like that, isn't it, Dr. Dedi?
Oh, my not hydrogen produce different.
Oh,
Hydrogen
okay.
produce electrolysis.
Okay.
Electrolysis. This is electrochemistry.
Yes, doctor.
Electrochemistry produce the electricity, but the electrolysis produce the hydrogen. Hydrogen feed the fuel cell. No hydrogen, no fuel cell, but no need fuel fossil for the petroleum. Just
Okay.
hydrogen. Maybe
Understood.
they hit the research today produce the hydrogen, I think.
Understood.
Electrolysis. Uh-huh.
So actually, the one that I noticed, the one just now in the slide, the one that moving is the electron is the one moving. Am I right, doctor? Or is that the electron in the one moving?
Electron. Yes,
Because
electron. Two
uh-huh.
two has two with the two oxygen split
Uh-huh.
split to four electron. Four electron can,
Okay.
yes, two S2 water, and this is the external. But the
Okay.
oxygen can go through from the air to the electrolyte.
Okay, doctor. It's mean, doctor. Sorry to ask, because I try to understand the flow of it. It mean this reaction will only happen with the presence of a catalyst. Am I right, doctor?
No, the solid oxide no need catalyst.
Oh, okay,
Ah,
okay. So without any catalyst, then, doctor, can you elaborate more? How does actually the mechanism happen? Because you are supplying with carbon monoxide and also some air into the system. And how does the reaction initiated?
yeah. Uh,
Uh-huh.
on the solid oxide fuel cell, we
Uh-huh.
can play about the charge. Charge. Uh,
Uh-huh.
if the electrolyte charge, ceramic metal composite electrolyte, if you can you push with the high temperature, the one of the component will make the charge. If you make the charge, if you have the packaging, and then jump the electrolyte to inside the close the hole, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, different with the PEM fuel cell, we need this one of material to split hydrogen. This is
Okay.
play on material, advanced material. This is.
Okay, understood. Understood. It means they use the advanced material.
Hmm.
So yeah, doctor, I'm okay with it.
Okay. This is the my research. If you want but one cell in the solid oxide fuel cell, you need the naked oxide with the samarium dot ceria, and then you make the pellet. Okay, pellet you combine combine to make the one pellets, and then combine with ytria stabilis bismuth electrolyte belay electrolyte, and then the cathode. Yeah, the cathode. Why before previously research the in the world, this is not this material. Ytria stabilis disconia, but the higher temperature solid oxide fuel cell. And then in my research, we can reduce of the operating temperature with new material. We make new research material, ytria stabilis bismuth bilayer. Okay. This is the electrical performance of single cell solid oxide with different ytria stabilis bismuth with different thickness at 600 Celsius operating temperature, and we have 5.5 micrometer of electrolyte to produce 60 milliwatt per centimeter square power density. Yeah, this is we published on the Composite Part B journal, Q1 journal, and Ceramic International Journal. Okay, if you want this use tech can produce more power and good your use tech using a cell, maybe you can measure that we performance with electrochemical impedance, and then you can know what does what the component problem. If the electrolyte problem, maybe resistance may be high. If the electrode problem, maybe your electrode problem. You can check this. You make this single cell, and then if you want increase the performance, maybe you can research again. This is research. Okay.
That is actually impedance spectroscopic method, am I right, doctor? You are using?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they actually can determine the properties of the material itself. It's like a behavior of a capacitor, or either it is a resistant behavior, isn't it, doctor?
Yes, right.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, doctor.
Okay. After I am postdoctoral at UKM, and then we research go to the Indonesia, and then we can according with the Indonesian facility. If Indonesian many more material like silica sand we have the minimal silica sand in the Rupat Island, and then we can research about the silica for the electrode and the solar cell. Okay, and then we have the manganese waste from the oil drill uh, duel, or like the petroleum drill, and then we have the manganese waste, and then we have this zirconia sand. We have mini zircon on the Bangka Belitung Island, and then we research also. Now we have the uh, palm oil, sawit. Palm oil, we can research about the carbon black, graphite for the make bipolar plate, and then graphite, graphene, and anymore. Maybe my focus may be the material for the energy. Okay. Okay, there is a cooperation, the last collaboration with UiTM, with the technique. And then lastly, I am collaboration with the UTP, produce the Q1 ceramic international and ionic. And then lastly, had international hydrogen with the UKM and the Institute Cell Fuel with me. This is the history, maybe. Okay. This is previous history and the long time award, maybe. Lastly, UK UiTM judges. I think what I forget it. Cover. Oh no, that is this is right, I think. Okay. Okay, we have the two patent in the MIPO Malaysian patent. One patent pending, and the other one is patent granted. This is patent granted method of production bipolar plate. Okay, this is selected publication. I think that's all. Dr. Hussein.
That's a very good presentation. I think there is one more slide, isn't it, Dr. Reddy? 22? No?
One more slide. This is thank you.
Okay, okay. Welcome. A very good and outstanding presentation. Especially, Dr. Dedi, you have managed to come out with the explanation of the electrochemistry from a different point of view and also the application. Because I'm very sure our student, not only from UiTM, those who are sitting in our main hall, they are very, very happy and excited. Look at the possibility of the different application of the electrochemistry. Like Dr. Nick just mentioned about the application of the electrochemistry in the microbial activity in terms of the sanitations on everything. And Dr. Daddy managed to come up with the concept that it is applicable in the fuel cells and also in the application of the providing electricity and application in the car battery and everything. That's mean the research also I noticed toward to the end of the presentation, Dr. Dedi, I noticed you are looking forward like a palm kernels applications, which is a palm oil based product to be incorporate with in your research area. That's a very good, and I can see why you are using a natural based product for the application of electrochemistry rather than the synthetic product, whereby the synthetic product, of course, my concern in the first place is about is that green chemistry or not? because the world are approaching to a greener world or green chemistry, because we want to decrease the harm to the environmental. I notice this is definitely the very good application. I believe our panel and our moderator also have something to add on to that Dr. Dedi presentation. Might I give? I would like to invite maybe Pak Rizal would like to add on to anything or would like to comment accordingly.
Well, yeah, thank you, Dr. Hussein. Sorry. Okay. Is there any disturbance? No. I'm sorry for the
Yeah.
sound. Dr. Hussein.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's okay. Pak Rizal, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we are trying to collaborate between me and Dr. Dedi actually. As you might know already, I'm not actually in the fuel cell field yet, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, but I think we could intersect our expertise maybe and our interests. And for us, for example, that I'm trying to actually produce or fabricate the bipolar plate that mentioned before by Dr. Dedi. As you can see, sometimes I think from what I read before is that the bipolar plate can be metallic or composite, like the dissertation of Dr. Dedi, and I think it opens up a prospect for me, especially in like a manufacturing process, to focusing more on the method to produce that bipolar plate, because as you can see here that maybe in this slide that's shown before by Dr. Dedi, sometimes in the bipolar plate, I'm talking particularly in PMFC here, the proton exchange membrane. There are several types of flow channel that produce in the bipolar plate, and surely that flow channel would impact on the performance of the bipolar plate. I mean, how much of a what it produce, or sometimes how is the value of the impedance that said before, right, Dr. Reddy? I think that's one indicator that need to look at, I think.
Yep. Definitely, for that's a very good point. You have mentioned about the collaborations. That is what we are. That is all about the idea why we are here. Collaborations between the two university, and of course, Dr. Nick, I believe you might have something to add on this wonderful presentation, especially from Dr. Dedi. It is very difficult to get this kind of expert to present on these particular fields in very detail. Of course, I'm also learning and try to understand the concept a bit or here and there, but Dr. Dedi managed to explain very well. So, Dr. Nick, anything that you like to comment as well?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Can you hear me, Dr. Hussein?
Yeah,
All
clear,
right.
crystal clear.
All right. So I think I also learned more details today about the fuel cell from the Dr. Dedikani, and also some comments from Pak Reza just now. So I think Dr. Hussein, maybe we can create another activity to collaborate in further with the Dr. Dedikani and also Pak Reza, maybe with together with the institutes of uh, fuel cell at the UTM to expand our knowledge, and maybe our students at the foundations, for example, in the degree level later, they have some idea in their research, especially in advanced electrochemistry, Dr. Hussein. What do you think?
I think definitely it is a very good point to highlight. In fact, I believe our foundation students are very, very excited maybe to have another sessions on the electrochemistry on these particular fields, because it is more to discover, especially the applications and everything. And of course, the topic might be, I can see the student over there. Okay, so they are very excited. I can see a lot of excited face over here. they want to learn more. So it is very good, especially for higher level of collaborations. Maybe one day we can invite Dr. Dedi to come over here to share the experience, the real hands-on experience on the research fields. That's what we are looking forward, and globally well known by inviting all the doctors and also professor to UiTM. So again, it's a very good wrap up for this today's sessions. From from me and also from UiTM, would like to thanks Dr. Dedi Kani for these wonderful presentations. And again, it's a very successful discussions. But nevertheless, this is the moment. Students, whoever you are, wherever you are sitting, get ready with your handphones. Get ready with your handphones. We have the most interesting part. Definitely the panel and moderator cannot join because you know the answer very well. Then we are going to give over to some competitions. We are going to do a small quiz. But before Dr. Nick, maybe I believe there is some question from the floor from the YouTube channel. I might overlook that. Can we focus on the YouTube channel first? The questions, maybe some question from YouTube. Just a moment, my dear students. Okay, there's the questions. Okay, that's a question we can read through. Good afternoon, all the lecturer and the audience. I have a question about corrosions. My question is how electrochemistry used to prevent corrosions of materials. Maybe Dr. Dedi or Dr. Nick, you can answer accordingly. Maybe give turn to.
All right. Okay. So maybe I can give my opinion first. After that, Dr. Dedikani can add up. Okay. So to prevent the corrosion of materials in the terms of the electrochemistry, basically, if we are applying the electroplating or metal plating. So for example, you're trying to protect your steel. Okay, so steel from the corrode. So maybe you can coat the steel from the more corrosion resistance metal, for example, the aluminium, using the technique of electro depositions. However, please remember, as just I mentioned before during my slot, if you are intend to electroplate the aluminium on the cathode surface, ensure that you use the molten solution rather than aqueous solutions, because if you use the aqueous solution, for sure water will reduce first before your aluminium, so that your coatings is unsuccessful. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Dedi, anything would like to add on this particular question, Dr. Dedi?
Ah, uh, in the UIR, UIR, we have the research about the prevent the corrosion of material, to prevent maybe that coating of your material with the other one, like inhibitor. We have more and gondo, I think like that. Maybe blimbing like that. This is minimal research technique in UIR.
That's good. I think it's mean basically the prevent. Maybe Pak Riza, are you in this particular field?
Well, as a matter of fact, actually, there is one paper that I involved in about the
Uh-huh.
inhibitor Dr. Dedikani said before. Actually, we use, I think, gua java, jambu, right?
Hmm.
We're using the inhibitor to
Hmm.
prevent the corrosion in galvan
Mm-hmm.
pipe at the time. The pipe that is used for the clean water for the
Mm-hmm.
palm, for the residents of a palm factory in somewhere in Riau. I don't remember the place, but
Mm-hmm.
we use the inhibitor, just one type, I think, at that time, but we treat it with a different duration of what to say, like a sinking in the water. I mean, the metal is sink in the water for a different kind of time, and then the inhibitor is used just for the same. or and then we compare the one without the inhibitor and the one with the inhibitor. And I think our colleague that might be joining us through YouTube, I think Dr. Kurnia Astuti, actually I follow her in the research. I think sometimes there are variations over the thickness of the inhibitor on the metal. So yeah, I think it's more on the material people maybe, yeah, in this field. But now I could see the intersect of knowledge between many people in different fields. So it is very exciting.
The thing, I'd also like to add on, if you don't mind, the panelists and also the moderator. Actually, for prevention of corrosion, the rusting process itself, we might use, if you're quite familiar with the word of anodic and cathodic sacrifice method. We can sacrifice in order to protect the steel itself. That might be a much simpler method for treatments or prevention of the corrosion itself. Talking about for this particular, this will be definitely easier. So we sacrifice a more reactive metal in order to protect the less reactive metals in most of the building, especially in petrochemical engineering materials such as piping systems and also in the petroleum system. That is what they do. And definitely we can use Dr. Nick method, coating method, to coat the inner layer with a less reactive method in order to avoid this. But personally, I believe by doing this coating method, Dr. Nick, you also can add on a bit on this. This coating method involves some chemisorption and physisorption reaction. Definitely some chemisorption and physisorption reaction. But if it is just a physisorption reaction, the coating are not strong enough. It's easily to peel off. So they might be, because one of my friend, Dr. Zakia, she is doing this coating, whereby she used the C base compound to coat it with the less reactive method to prevent the rusting of metals. Her research is talking about. So I think, Dr. Nick, you also have learned about, you also doing this research during your earlier study, master and PhD. That's what it's a very interesting point to highlight, Dr. Nick. So thank you for the panel. And also, do we have any other questions from the floor? Okay, how about the audience from our main halls? Maybe the lecturers over there, maybe the students. Maybe this is your opportunity to ask questions. Any questions over there? I do understand it's a Friday. Most of the van and bus are waiting outside the campus. Don't worry, we will ensure the session finish first. Okay, so anything. If there is no questions, never mind. For our student, you always can reach us, especially Dr. Nick, me, Pak Rizal, Dr. Dedi. All of us can through the social media platforms, email and WhatsApp and everything. You can do it. Okay. So very good. Okay, I get some response. They say so far so good. Thank you so much. For my students over there. Okay, so I know all of you again. Let's continue with the session for the quiz. Get ready with your phone and phone.
Sorry, Hussein. I think there
Yes.
is one question though.
Wait. Sorry, Pariza. Where's the question, Pariza?
There is one question, I think, in the comment section. I just found one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comment section with Pariza.
Yes, from Muhammad Aiman Hakimi Muhammad Ibrahim.
Okay, so that's a question up here. Thank you for reminding me, Dr. Pariza. Good evening, all the lecture and everything. I have a question about the pros and and the cons of the hydrogen fuel cells, and can this innovation applying for future technologies such as automotive industry? So Maybe this one, I think the expert will be Dr. Dedi. You are the expert on this particular field. You can explain further.
Okay. As we know, hydrogen is very sensitive element that they very like. If the automotive industry problem, if the accident cannot like the natural gas, not boom like that. That's very light gas. No need the explosive. Eh? No, no emissions first, and then not make the boom. Okay, because of hydrogen is very light element. Okay, this is the what the pro and contrast. Contrast. Hydrogen is difficult to produce. Now, in the UKM, one of produce hydrogen with the UV light to produce just little bit of produce hydrogen, and then electrolysis maybe uh, uh, higher to produce hydrogen, and then produce a little bit hydrogen. Just process high cost process a little bit produce. Okay, maybe this is the contra, but advantages no emission, no NOx, maybe green technology. I think like that can term.
That's a
This is
very good point to highlight, especially when we are talking about. Hello. Yes, Doctor.
okay.
Sorry
This
to
is
interrupt. Yes, Doctor.
what about my question? Answer enough? Dr. Nick?
Yes,
Dr.
Doctor. I think that's that.
Sorry.
I think it's clear. Maybe Dr. Nick, you have anything to add on?
Dah mute dah. Mute.
Nothing, doctor. Already cleared by Dr. Dedikani.
So basically, we can say it is due to the reactivity, because hydrogen itself, the disadvantage is quite reactive. It must cause some explosions. That is what Dr. Dedi has mentioned. But on the other hand, this is more to the green technology. It means not really causing harm to the environmental. That is the pro and the cons of using of these hydrogen fuels. So that's quite clear about the disadvantage and that advantage of this particular field. So very good. I think we need to wrap up the session for quiz. We need to give definitely, because Dr. Nick already few time open and share the slide. So maybe can we proceed? Okay, this is how it's gonna to work. Okay, all the audience and also those are in home at the YouTube channels, everyone can try these particular questions. Okay, you can try and we will give you some mystery gift. We definitely will give you maybe Dua Raya is waiting for you. After this I will do it. We will send the gift to you accordingly. So get ready with your handphone. You are going to scan the QR code. Okay, this is the QR code. The audience, those students in the main hall, and also those on the YouTube channel, scan the QR code now and get ready. What again? I get the green light from the Dr. Nick. We will proceed with the quiz. So now we have almost like 20, 23, 25. Audience is coming in, already register. Make sure you remember your name that you register, because that name will be used as a proof to claim your gift your after this. Make sure you remember. You can only try once. You only can try once. More student is coming in. We already have more than 100 students, participants. We have more than 120 students participated at the moment. We are still waiting. Make sure the number is balanced, stable. Then we can proceed. Trust me, it is just a simple quiz and a very short one. You need to answer very fast. And the one that answer in a very short time will gain more marks and point that will be improve your score. We are reaching 200 students. We are reaching almost 200 participants. We have almost reaching 200. Let's the number be stable, then we start, Dr. Nick. Almost stable, the number. Okay, we already have 200 participants. Okay, I'm sure we are going to start. The number already stable. Okay, Dr. Nick, it's your flow and answer accordingly. Go. Question number 1. No. What is the function of a salt bridge in a galvanic cell? Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everyone has voted. Very good. The answer is to complete the circuit. Very good. Okay, Dr. Nick, on your count, on the second question, go. Okay, what is the function of oxidizing agent? Oxidizing agent. Get ready. You have 50 seconds. Go. Go. Hurry up. Hurry up. We have 5 seconds. Less than 5 seconds. Hurry up. Hurry up. And end. So very good. The right answer is help to oxidize other species. Very good. So the third one. Okay, we have a third question coming out. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. So which is a non-spontaneous reaction? Oh, a killer questions. Okay, 50 seconds started. Electroplating, metal extractions, purification, and battery applications. A simple one to our audience. Go. And the answer, the right answer, Dr. Nick. Exactly, the non-spontaneous actually referred to the battery. Okay, that's good. And next one, Dr. Nick. Okay, we have two more questions. Get ready, students. This is your last chance to get some prize. A redox reaction can determine based on the following changes, except, which is not true. Hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, electrons. Go. You have less than number. Hurry up. Hurry up. And the end. This is been voted. The answer is nitrogen. Very good. Most of you write the good answer. Right answer. Very good. Excellent. Then we have the last question. Are you ready, audience? So also under the, okay, this is the questions coming out. The last question, Dr. Nick. Go. Among the below, which is not the application of the electrochemistry. Excellent. Application. Rustic water purification, sensor, and buffer equilibrium. You have less than 5 seconds. Our lecturers also excited trying the answers over here. I can see that they are very excited. And that's it. Sensor is wrong. It's actually buffer equilibrium. It's not a that is not the application of the electrochemistry. Most of you, ni macam mana ni student-student saya? What happened to you? So the winner, the top winner, Dr. Nick, who going to top winner? Wait a moment. Okay. Maybe the person snap this as a proof. With the top one will be magical rhino. Wow. What a magical rhino with, but why you put a unicorn over there? A rhino. Okay, that's a very contradict. Yeah? I think I need to bring this student to a zoo to introduce the animals. Okay, so we have like more than 3,596 points earned by this. Okay, for those are the those are five lucky winners. Am I right? We have 5 top lucky winners. Please contact the organizer, the one that I mentioned earlier. Those are the organizer. Can we show who's the top 5, Dr. Nick? Is that possible? Is that possible to show who's that 5? Okay. Again, magical, rhino. What is that? Croc, Montana. Then we have, pardon? Lola, Ideal, 5 of you, screen capture the proof and send to this following number, which is the organizer number, or more precisely, Dr. Nick, 01762706884, or email to us, Norzihana at uitm.edu.my. You will get your surprise prize or duit raya waiting for you. Also, regardless, those are in the main hall or the YouTube channel. You definitely will get the things. I hope you have screen captured this thing. And this video is actually available in a UiTM Foundation, UiTM Dengkil YouTube channel as well. So you can always refer to our YouTube channel for further clarification and also further inquiry. So yes, everything that started will reach to the end. That's the common things. So we also reaching toward the end of the sessions. Shall we take more picture, or that's enough? Enough, eh? Okay, good. So again, I would like to thanks all the panel, Dr. Dedi, Pak Rizal, Dr. Nick. Oh, yes. I forgot another thing. Sorry, because I'm so excited. That's my problem. Over here, I'm so excited. So you must go for your attendance. A student are wishing to get your attendance and an e-certificate. This is your opportunity to scan this QR code now. Please scan the QR code and the attendance for your attendance and e-certificate. And I think this is also available in our YouTube channel, am I right? Yeah, it is scan through using our YouTube channel. Oh, it will open for 10 minutes. It will open for 10 minutes. So hurry up. So all my students, especially my student, I will check the attendance and I will say, and the e-certificate as a proof. If not, I penalize your quiz. Okay, thank you again. So again, from my side, I'm Dr. Hussein Haniba. Again, would like to thank all our panel, our VIPs, and also Pariza, our moderator, Dr. Nick. Again, I apologize throughout the sessions if I if I'm hurt your feeling or anything happens throughout the session. I really forgive me. And anything else? I think okay. Yeah, my student are sending my the result. Sorry, the attendance to me now. Okay, thank you. I receive your attendance. Okay, again, I apologize for all the things that happen. Ingat, apa-apa yang buruk adalah daripada kelemahan saya sendiri, dan juga apa-apa yang terbaik adalah daripada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Dan insya-Allah saya akan jumpa tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dalam sesi yang berikut. Assalamualaikum and very good day to all of you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Student of UiTM, thank you very much.
Yeah, and also the YouTube. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, for the participant on YouTube, thank you.
Yeah.